What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Weapon Collective. My name's Jeff, and once again out on the range. And what are we looking at today? Well, we're looking at a gun that I first saw down at Covert Projects down in California when we were doing the Live from Covert event. And that is the CNC Gunworks AKIRA. Now, AKIRA does translate to bright, and that's an apt name for this with this very high polish finish. But we'll get into all that in the outro after I've had a chance to run this thing. So right now I'm going to get out, put it through its paces, get a first impression of shooting this gun. But let me go through the basic setup. I do have it set up like I have most of my guns, Trijicon SRO Surefire X300 Turbo, and it is a 4.6 inch ported pistol. 2 V ports along the side with 6 holes, and then 2 inline ports on the top with 2. So just up my alley. Let's go run this thing and see what I have to think about it. All right, at the 7-yard line with the CNC Gunworks AKIRA. Gonna try some bill drills, and if you saw my haze video, I'm just gonna start from the ready. I'm more concerned about just how this gun is performing, the trigger, get my trigger finger working. We'll incorporate the draw later. So really, if I'm trying to get under 2 seconds from the draw, maybe doing this around a second or slightly under would be acceptable. I really don't know. We'll just play it by ear. All right, that was clean at a 0.92. So that was good. That trigger, I mean, it's got an Atlas trigger in it, but that one, really what happened is I got my trigger finger working, and that was nice. That was one of my better bill drills, in all honesty. Nice group and nothing to mark, which is even better. So really, my draw is what always is killing me. I need so much work on the draw. I predict where this is going. Trying to beat 0.92. It's gonna get ugly, boys. Let's see. I dropped one. That was a 108. Oh, I couldn't get it going that time. Oh, little left edge. 108. Ah! I just had that little trigger freeze. The bill drill is funny because the more I think about it, trying to get this trigger finger going fast, the slower it goes, the less consistent it is. Whew. Maybe somebody out there has some tips. Drop them in the comments of how you get that trigger finger going. A little stutter in between 1 and 2. It's clean at a 109, but just can't keep it working. That was clean. That was 1. So that's just like every time when I try to just slow down and get hits, they're my better runs. For the AKIRA, I mean, it is a well-balanced, super flat, quick return to zero. Like, it's a nice shooting gun. Problem is me, but that one that was a 0.96, what was it? 0.98. That was one of my better bill drills. And as long as I just get this thing out of, or take the draw out of the equation, much easier to focus on the gun. That one, my trigger finger with this trigger, it's fast. I just can't always go that fast. So far, this thing shoots really nice. Back at this spinner, and I attempted this with the haze. And this is a seductress. This thing just lures you in to want to shoot it. So I'm gonna try to be a little more patient today. We'll see. I don't know if you can really get it all the way around with 9, but I'm sure someone can. Let's see. I don't know, dude. I don't think, if there's a secret to it, I haven't figured it out.
The secret is full auto MP5.
Yeah, that'll do it. But, I mean, it gets parallel. That one I was way more patient, but then it feels like you gotta start taking 2 shots on them to get that momentum moving enough. I don't know, there was one comment that said up, down, down, up, down or something. I think that was the Contra code for 30 lives, but I don't know. I can't do it. All right, back out at the Hyundai, and uh-oh, we have a loose optic. Let's see what we can do. Built-in excuse. So far, the reigning champ is the haze. I am yanking that trigger, man. I had a little rally going. But, I mean, like I said last video, I think, I mean, all these guns are capable of doing that, hitting every shot. But this, I felt that trigger input, and I was just jerking this trigger. When I stopped, got all those hits. So, feels like a really accurate gun. I'd have to give it a little more reps to see if it could actually stack up against that haze, because that haze was very easy. But this thing is nice, man. It's a really good shooting pistol. I like it. And this is, I don't know, even this is totally comes from nowhere, but it feels like having all these ports could affect accuracy to me. I have no metrics to base that on anything. It just seems that way. But certainly all my ported and comped and hybrid guns, they all are very accurate. So I don't even know why I have that in my head, but maybe somebody with some more data could let me know if that does affect accuracy whatsoever and at what distance. Okay, we are stuck with a wobbly optic plate because I had a Torx wrench break off into the screw. So I cannot get the optic off to adjust this plate. So we'll just go with it, and maybe it'll come loose, maybe not, we'll see. But I'm really just trying to, maybe I'll get less hits, but still, gun doesn't shoot any different, so let's see. Definitely feels weird. Barrel makes a nice noise. That's it. So I can feel it. It's not as it's on. There's a level of degree of difficulty jumped up a step, but gun still shoots really nicely. That's all there is. The main concern. All right, we're gonna do some reloads, and after shooting that haze with that amazing magwell, this will be interesting. But the cool thing about this gun is this magwell. It's a nice magwell, fits so well onto this grip, but it is also a Terran tactical footprint. So you can use any Terran Tactical magwell on this. So you could get one of his big competition magwells and get more of a haze magwell, if you will. Oh, missed, but 192. That haze, man. That was a 261. Slow. 179. Should be more in that area. It's always a little warm up, but 171. Oh, how did I get a 150? 185.
I will say you're keeping it in your workspace a little bit.
Yeah, I'm very deliberately trying to do that. 184. You got to be absolutely perfect to get down to the 1.5. 178. Just missed the entire gun. So we've had a front grip screw come out completely. 164.
There you go.
There we go. I mean, I did take a lot of reps on that haze too.
Yeah.
Thumb safety, knocked it on. That's just part of these big shielded thumb safeties. Getting over here to the mag release and then coming back up, and some sweep them on every once in a while, but 164. So, I mean, with reps, it goes down. I need to come out here and just be able to do that right off the rip. Headshot at 150.
Nice. Was that intentional?
No, technically that was a miss. We'll end on that. The optic just keeps getting looser and looser, so we'll shoot this thing till it absolutely comes off. That's all she wrote. Tighten back down. I wish. Oh, missed him, missed him. Well, for a loose optic, I'll take it. That one doesn't make noise. Where is he? Okay, just got done putting the initial rounds through the CNC Gunworks AKIRA. And before I get into performance or specs or anything about that, I did just want to take you back to me getting hands on this gun for the first time. Maybe 10 days ago, picked this thing up from the gun shop on the way to the range and got out here and put a couple mags through it. It was at the end of the day, getting dark, and Really, what happened is I realized there were a couple things going on with the gun. Mainly, it was this grip safety delete. The beaver tail was just not secure. You could tap it like this and it moved quite a bit and had a rattle. So, and besides that, the thumb safety was maybe just a little too loose. But I contacted Charlie over at CNC Gunworks and they took care of me right away. Their customer service was top notch. I had a shipping label in my email right away, shipped it back the next day, and when I got the gun back, it was absolutely perfect. I want to just be full disclosure and let you know that I did have that little hiccup, but they did an excellent job remedying the situation. So CNC Gunworks is a little 4-man shop, small, and they are very attentive to their customers. I will say that. That was a thumbs up for me. Gun, I got it today. And before I get any further in, let's just talk about the optic coming loose. So I'm not gonna put that on them because when I did, as I mentioned, I picked this gun up from the gun shop on the way to the range. I knew I was doing that, so I just grabbed an SRO and a couple screws. Got here and I just used the screws I had and they worked, but Charlie let me know that it was hanging on by one last thread because I didn't use the correct screws. There were some screws in the box that I didn't see. So he just swapped the optic, but I'm thinking they probably just didn't get Loctited. And normally I would be installing my optic plate, optic, and all of that. So this is on me, the optic being loose. I just didn't double check it. And then the only other thing, this thing ran flawlessly today with the exception of I did have this front grip screw come out. And I've had that happen on other guns, but never the entire thing. So if you're familiar with 2011s, this little hole right here, there's a bushing and then 2 screws that go on both sides. I've had 1 screw come out, but the bushing remained in there. So I think just a little Loctite, that's what has always done the job for me, is just Loctiting those in and never had an issue. But I will say, if there is one part that is gonna fall out of your gun, let it be your front grip screw. So that's an easy fix. And other than that, this thing ran really nice. This gun shoots very flat, very soft. It's similar to the Dark Forge Wraith in the way that it's ported. It just has kind of reverse porting because the Wraith has 6 and 6 or 3 and 3 V port and then 2. It's just if you took this pattern and flipped it 180 and put it on the gun, you'd have the Wraith. So it shoots similar to the Wraith, and I just thought this trigger was phenomenal. The only issue was me getting my trigger finger going, and once I did, this thing cooks. It is a very cool gun. Now aesthetically, I think that's the bigger jump out point of this gun when you see this. It is very distinct because it has this DLC finish that is high polish. So it has a fancy aesthetic to the gun. And I thought that when I first saw this down at Covert Projects, like, oh my gosh, that is a nice looking gun. And I think it's easy to translate that in your head to it's not a durable gun or it could be easily scratched. And that's just not the case with this DLC. What you're seeing, to get the gun ready to get this high polish like this, it takes about 5 times the metal prep work that it would to do a normal DLC. So it's almost like you're seeing through a clear coat in a way. And it's a very durable finish, but it looks very fancy and like it could be scratched and beat up easily. So I'm seeing no wear or tear from today. Wouldn't be all that common to experience that anyways, unless I drop the gun in the rocks or something. But it is a good looking gun. And one thing that I don't know if you can see this in this lighting, but this grip, first, I like the texture on this grip. Very nice, that just medium texture that's like I call it the Goldilocks zone, just not too aggressive, and it's not gonna slip around in your hand. But it has the finish on it, which is just a hard anodized black on this aluminum grip. But their black has somewhat of it's kind of like a plum color if you get it in the right lighting. And I think it's kind of a cool aesthetic. And I noticed that on these Atlas magazines, it almost appears to have the same finish if you get it in the right light. And then you move down to this magwell. I think I mentioned this in the video, but the magwell is fit so perfect to this gun. But cool thing about this that I never would have even thought about until I talked to Charlie is that this magwell is the same format fit as the Terran Tactical mags. So this one is kind of like a tactical magazine from Atlas, but if you want to get a big competition magwell or a little carry magwell, Terran makes all those and they would fit right on this gun. So I think that is pretty cool. I haven't heard of any other companies doing that. Once again, these big shielded thumb safeties, ambi, and I did sweep one on during a reload today, but that's not super uncommon for me when I have a big shielded thumb safety. But these ones, as I mentioned, when I first got this thing, it was a little loose. It's tightened up right to that sweet spot. Dig it. Once again, that trigger is money. I love it. The gun shoots just beautifully. And I had a lot of fun with this thing, and I'm definitely going to continue to shoot it. I just have to get this optic figured out. The Torx bit did break off in the screw. And I've had that happen once or twice in my life, and it can be a pain in the butt. So I got to get that out, tighten this down. But it will make more appearances on the channel because it just does shoot very nicely. And I got to say, for CNC Gunworks being a little shop, very impressed with the quality of the gun they're putting out, how well it shoots. There's like 4 guys running that place. CNC has existed for a couple years working on this gun. It's on market, it's available now, and I know they're working on some other stuff, some other AKIRA variants, so keep an eye out for that because that is going to be pretty cool. I'm just a big fan of little boutique companies rolling up their sleeves and building some cool guns. As I said, it'll be out on the channel more, so stay tuned for that. Watch out for future content. I'm Jeff for the Weapon Collective, and I'll catch you next time.